Jay Styles is first. Congratulations. He's here before me. Apparently, I completely misjudged time. I set the timer up, went outside to move my sprinkler. Completely misjudged the time. So what's going on, guys? Tuesday Night Live. Today, September 16th. Very interesting video. I'm sweating. It is hot. Just so you don't think I'm ever exaggerating. 90 degrees with the heat index. 90 degrees. It's 7 o'clock at night. 67% humidity. It's fall, y'all. I don't know where fall is. Fall got lost. But it is warm. Oh, what's going on in the crypto world? Did my video last night. I think I was a little harsh on grass. If y'all can tell, I was a little pissed off, but hey, you don't call me grumpy for nothing. I really don't try to be grumpy, I swear. I really have tried in this part of life to realize life is short and you don't have to be negative for everything. But it just seems like I just keep getting these body blows that it's like, you know, it just seems to be always something. So 5 people in, make sure you'll hit the like button. We'll wait for a couple more people to get started. Make sure you're in the Grumpy Dad Discord. Seems to be getting more and more active every day. Can't keep up with all the different channels. What's weird is that some channels, some projects, even though I set each one of them up to auto update their announcements into the Grumpy Dad project list, for some reason, not all of them announce or pass on the announcements or forward the announcements. So I have to try to go back into those and, forward them if I have to forward them. My latest catastrophe that I'm dealing with right now is I'm hoping it's just there's something wrong. But I put in my Discord in the grass forum, I cannot find my grass. I don't know why. My grass that I staked is not showing up. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what the cooldown. The reason I was going into the grass is I'm trying to figure out what the cooldown period. We're gonna talk about this all in a second. I want to wait for a couple more people to get in, but y'all tell me what's going on with y'all. Any new projects y'all are looking at? I'm curious to know. Really, I need to get more videos done. I need to going back and look at all my analytics from YouTube and stuff. It is very clear that if I don't consistently do videos, and another thing is I'm trying to do more of these lives because I like coming on here chit chatting with y'all. Also, even though the most I usually get is 15, maybe 18 to 20 people looking at the live, which, when you look at Georgia, you see hundreds of people. It's kind of a kick in the balls. But anyway, even though I only get, 15, 20 people at the most of this live, I get almost 200 people that come back and look at the live the day after. I don't know if that's people that are after hours, after our normal hours or something like that. But, I don't know if YouTube, the algorithm looks at lives like they do with uploaded videos. But compared to what I was doing a couple of months ago when I was trying to do videos every day, it's very clear how the YouTube algorithm works. Now, look, y'all know I'm not all about all that. Like this, that's not why I do the channels. But hey, when you got bills to pay, I'm dealing with right now. I think my refrigerator broke. As if I got money for that on top of everything else going on. Y'all think I've just cried to y'all, but I always have something in life going on. And so you might as well play the game, you know. But anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if I should be just more uploading videos. I am planning on doing more videos. I want to start covering more videos. Y'all have asked for that. That, you know, originally when I started doing this channel, I was adamant that I was only going to do videos on projects I was in, but I haven't really been jumping into any new projects lately. So there's no videos to do. So I started doing a couple of videos here and there that y'all would ask for. And y'all have said y'all wanted me to do more videos just to cover projects. You know, clearly telling y'all, hey, I'm not doing this project, or I am doing this project, and that kind of stuff like that. So I am looking at doing more videos for more projects, especially if it's something new in DEPIN, not, you know, not the 17th data miner or something like that. You know, if it's something completely new, you know, before this live's over, I'll get my hat fixed. So we'll see. So what else is going on? But like I was saying, apparently grass, I don't know how, but the grass project has survived Grumpy's rant last night on my, oh, I'm sorry, I made it last night, but it was this morning. Y'all saw it on my Monday weekly updates. If y'all didn't get a chance to see it, go look at it. But this project's a joke. I say that, you know, and I'm not trying to be greedy, because I didn't do nothing with my original grass. I staked them all. But I just, why am I the only issue? Why am I the only person that has an issue with a project that does yearly rewarding? And I say yearly, but like I argued last night, if we go into the next epoch, we'll be more than a year since a reward. This project has rewarded before. So it's not like you're trying to figure out the reward mechanism, or, you know, figure out test net tokens, or what's the exchange rate going to be, or anything like that. You've already passed that. You're just giving out rewards for what we did in stage 2. It shouldn't be this difficult. You can't tell me that y'all concentrating on stuff behind the scenes and you're not worried about rewards, because what the hell are y'all concentrating on behind the scenes? Y'all got a device coming out, which to me, I don't know. Nobody's seen it to take it apart. But to me, it seems like it's going to be another polite network thing where it's a plastic cover with an ESP32 in it. And who knows what they're going to charge? We haven't got prices yet. But I'm sure it's going to be something to where you're going to get added bonus rewards, or a multiplier, or a percentage more, to try to convince you to use their device versus your own, you know, BYOD type device like we're using now at Grass. So, but either way, you can concentrate on that and still do rewards. You know, I just have an issue with any project. I don't care what the project is, that gives out yearly rewards. But apparently I'm the only one, because you don't see hardly anybody else complaining about it or anything like that. People come on this Discord and just spew nonsense. So, oh, thank you. Grasshopper will begin shipping limited batches starting Q4 2025. Well, you know, Q4 2025 starts in 15 days. So, I don't know. I'm not making this a grass stream. What else? Anybody else got anything? We talked about Wingbits. Wingbits has a poll going on. Let me see if I can move my fat head over. About here. Don't forget that tomorrow Wingbits is having an AMA. I will be there. I have sticky notes on my monitor at work to make sure I don't miss this AMA. I think it's going to be a very interesting AMA. I think there's going to be a lot of questions. Who knows what kind of answers we're going to get. Several changes that have occurred with this new payout, which is the announcement right before this one right here. I think there's going to be several people asking questions about this. Maybe we'll get another hint at AMA, but no disrespect to Wingbits, I'm not counting on AMA to the day it happens, because we've already been told some suggested time frames for AMAs. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, for TGEs, mainnet, and you see where we are today. So we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow's AMA. They might not discuss that part at all. They might say, "Hey, we're still working on contracts, and we're not even, going to discuss AMA. I mean, sorry, TGEs." So, we'll see. We'll see. Who fought it says, I want free first class. So they do have this poll up. As some of you have already found, we have a new poll. We would appreciate your input. What your top 3 utilities for the token will be and soon to be released Wingbits Reward Hub. Being on an exchange is already taken into account. We are using new poll mechanism as we want to get your top 3 choices, not just one. So you won't see the results on this one, but we will show the results when we feel the poll has run its course. So you go, and I even posted this in the Grumpy Dad Discord about the poll. Hey, we're soon launching a Wingbits Rewards Hub. We want to know what real world perks you would be most likely to use. Vote for your top 3, or suggest another option if you prefer. So you can get travel. This is what you're voting for that you want them to offer. Getting travel accessories like neck pillows, sleepy mesh, luggage. My question is, before I go too far in this, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that you would have to cash in your wings for this. I don't know how I feel about that. Again, that's just my opinion. There's nothing forcing us to do it, so it doesn't matter what my opinion is. I wouldn't do it. I don't know if I should be making up the next comment I'm about to make. What I voted for was for F. But let me tell you why. And I'm sure some of y'all have already thought about this, if y'all are thinking 2 steps ahead like I am. If you are cashing in wings for these A through I rewards, if all these are accepted, or just the top 3, but with number F, isn't that kind of a way of cashing out tokens, and you're getting a gift card? So technically you're not cashing it out of an exchange. If you get my drift in between the lines, that's why I voted for F. I don't know if there'll be a limit of how many, and they probably haven't thought about all it yet, but technically you can, instead of me cashing out $100 worth of Wingbits and that being a taxable event, because I'll have to move it to like Solana or something like that, depending on where the CEXs are available, then go to Coinbase or something like that and sell that Solana, put it in my checking account or whatever I'll do with it. It's a taxable event. Where the gift cards, again, not financial advice, definitely not tax advice. You'll know that I was taking extra out last year for taxes for my because of my side business and crypto and for YouTube channel and stuff like that, and I still didn't take enough out, and I still owed Uncle Sam $2,000 at the end of the year, which was sickening after you knew what I took out all year. I still got payments left on that. So please don't take tax advice from me, but that's where I was going with the whole gift cards thing. Pay with crypto for a wide range of goods and services. I just like that kind of thing because again, I'm taking this, and instead of me, if I want to buy something, instead of me getting crypto, changing it to a fiat or whatever I'm going to change it to, and then go and buy something, I can just use Wingbits almost directly for number G or H. Even, I'm sorry, number F or H, letter F or letter H, or possibly even G. You know, my personal opinion, this is only my personal opinion. I know some of y'all are different. I'm already getting B because I have a crypto.com card. So I'm already getting B. C, I'm already getting miles because I'm flying already. D, I don't get travel insurance now. E, I ain't worried about eSIMs because majority of these cellular plans these days already have global travel on your SIM. That's why I like F. That's why I like H. The vouchers for travel thing, we could talk about that one. I don't know about I, but that's just kind of what I'm looking at. Travel accessories. What I worry about travel accessories is this. Wingbits got out of the whole merchandise or the whole like selling equipment type thing because they did not want to worry about shipping and those logistics, and they had to pull back kind of from that. Wouldn't he be getting involved in that again for number A? I don't want them to have to concentrate on that when people are saying, hey, I got me a, I 6 weeks ago, I ordered a neck pillow and it didn't ship. And then Axie's got to go look up and find out that the shipment got lost behind some file cabinet at the post office, like half my Amazon packages do. And, I don't know. That's just me talking out loud. I just don't want them to have to worry about those type things. But, I did pick F. And be honest with you, that's all I picked was F. I guess I could also pick I. I don't know. But hey, y'all go to the poll. Make sure if you're in the Wingbits Project Discord, make sure you go vote. Give them your option. Give them your ideas, because this is something that they have always talked about. Not always, but, for some time now, they have talked about doing this with the token. Instead of you just going cash it out, having some type of store type front that you can get some of these things like that. A lot of y'all have talked about it. So this is them trying to take that next step. So take a look at that. So going back to the announcements, we talked yesterday on my video about the 7-day claim grace period. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. I have mixed feelings on it. This was kind of discussed a little bit in the Wingbits channel itself, where they talked about they want to do a 7-day claim so that they can, for security reasons and making sure there's people aren't scamming, and they'll have a chance to kind of stop those rewards if they think a station is scamming or GPS spoofing or something like that. Do y'all know of another project that does this that's not named Chirp? Chirp's longer than 7 days. I think it's way too long. I think it's stupid. I don't know. I think 7 days is too long. That's just me. Y'all know me. I can find negative in everything. But I also look at it as I have so many tokens come to me that I'm not worried about it. If you're new in the project, or you only have one station or maybe 2 stations, and you're newer and didn't have all these testnet tokens coming to you, I can see, and plus 20%. But I could see having an issue with this. They also give all these college math formulas down here about 12-month distribution for remaining rewards, immediate unlock. So you will get 5% of your total beta rewards. That means all your tokens that you mined during beta. 12 months. It'll be split up 12 months, distributed daily. for 12 months. Daily payouts with 20% bonus. Remaining beta rewards will be distributed only David over the 12-month period. These daily beta rewards will stay online. So as long as your station remains online, you get the daily amount plus a 20% bonus on the daily beta rewards. And then it gives you all kinds of formulas and stuff. So I'm curious to know what everybody thinks on that. Y'all not too talkative tonight. Y'all need to go drink some coffee. So what else is going on? My wife's bringing me all this food as if I'm going to eat. So another thing that I had discussed with y'all is Nubla. I am getting a Nubla device. But I got people trying to talk me into doing a node also. So, I know some of y'all are into this already, but I'm hearing positive things about it. The more I look into it, the more I want to get involved in it. I am interested in also in doing the validator nodes. What I will say is Helium Deploy does have these for sale. I'm trying to talk Helium Deploy right now to work with me on this. I think some of y'all will be interested in it. I know some of y'all are interested in it. I will say also, I want to let y'all know, somebody did buy one of these. We talked about this on my live last week. People are buying the Nublas. People are buying Wingbits WB200s. I brought up, I think it was in my Discord, about GeoNet. I love GeoNet. GeoNet is a great project. You do it for the tech. That's truly a project at this point. You're doing for the tech because the rewards after the halving took a hit. And then you got another halving coming up in 9 months. I am concerned about how many people will still be buying devices when it's going to take you 350 days at today's price to ROI on that. But people are buying these. People are still buying MGW310s. Right now, you can get a free Nubla for that's $300 when you buy one of these. Not only that, but you can also get the Moken DEPIN Tracker Pro free for 3 months. I've told y'all before about this. I really like this thing because you can track all these different projects you're in, and you can track them, tells you what's going on with them, and you can even see what the rewards are. The Moken Tracker even tells you what your hot projects are and everything like that, and it's a cool deal. But this Nubla Marco, I am getting one. I want to set it up for y'all. And still got to find out about this solar panel. If this is really needed, or if there's no solar panel at all in this. Because I don't see a solar panel anywhere on here. So I'm wondering if it's you have to either keep changing the batteries out or get a solar panel. What solar panels included on it? That's what it looks like. Which solar monitor? Which Sky, I've heard nothing positive about SkyX. If anybody's in the SkyX, y'all let me know. But I haven't heard anything about positive about SkyX. In fact, in previous lives, y'all have even told me kind of what y'all thought about SkyX, which wasn't positive. So I know Nubla also has these the nodes, because y'all have asked me about running nodes also. At some hefty price tags though. That's what I'm curious about. Again, I failed college math, so some of this stuff. I guess basically you get rewarded for your node. If you let them sit in there for 6 months, you get 100% of your mine rewards. You can withdraw 100%, no penalties. But the problem is you have no idea what the reward's going to be, right? That's one thing I'd like to find out and do some research on and see what I can find out about that. Oh, yeah, next question. So who farted saying he thinks they both come to solar panels now? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going out there and charge it all the time. I can tell you that right now. That's one thing I can give Weather XM is you put the batteries in, it's got a solar panel on top. You don't have to worry about that. Kyle said he likes Nubla, 1 million points so far. Who farted said stay away from SkyX. I that's what I heard too. Nubla had a major issue though also. It's my sprinkler. I remember seeing videos and we discussed it on this channel about Nubla and some of the problems they had about doing a reset. Supposedly they have sent firmware updates to it and that has been solved. I haven't really seen any more conversations about that. I haven't heard really anybody talking about that. So I am curious to see, you know, how that works out with that. The cloud node, again, I need to know what kind of rewards we're getting first. But these are going on sale soon at Helium Deploy. I was trying to see, I'm curious if you get just trying to see how many different nodes they got for sale. Who's spending $5,000 on this? Look, warp node or whatever this is might be the greatest project ever. Who's spending $5,000? I know some of y'all love DEPIN though. You know, it's look, if y'all getting a warp node, please use my code. But that's crazy. Warp node. We talked about Tempe on here. Talked about Beamable. Beamable is something else I was interested in. Even though KYC is needed on it. NFT, workers online. Doxed team. You know, some people like nodes because they don't have to set up equipment. They ain't got to maintain equipment. You just run the node and call it a day. You know. The data, the map. Oh, they got some Nublas out there already. Look at that. They got some nublas out there. I didn't realize this was that widespread. Wow. They got a guy in Homer that gets all this DEPIN stuff before I do. Down in the swamp country land. I mean, come on. Let me put one in Grand Isle with my helium station. Put Bayou Cane. Y'all ever watch Swamp People? The TV show? They talk about Bayou Cane all the time. And this is Thibodeau. Franklin area is where Troy Landry's from on Swamp People. For those who watch Swamp People. But so is a validator the same as cloud, rainy, sunny? I'm curious. I'm curious how else is going to work. Like I said, I'm interested in the Nubla project. I didn't realize it was this established already, but I believe it's still on testnet. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I think that is a very interesting Nubla map for sure. Kyle's gonna get me in trouble. Yeah, I know. I see y'all talking about it. I don't. Let me see if I can answer this. Listen, y'all know I'm honest with y'all, even if it gets me in trouble. I expected back when we were making $5 a day and stuff like that, $10 a day, $5 a day. I knew when Ashlers came out, we were going to take a hit in rewards. Never doubted that. I even discussed it in my video. Did I expect it to go down to $1 or less than $1 a day? Absolutely not. You saw this token going up. You know, rewards were going down a little bit, but the token was going up or staying steady, and it didn't hurt as bad. Token going down, people who are in a project that's not supposed to be selling, who are selling. You know, I'm curious if they're getting booted like they're supposed to be. Curious about all that. To make it perfectly clear, I do trust the team 100%. I know the team is still working hard. I see the stuff they're doing. We're in a private X group with a whole bunch of them. Probably about, if I had to guess, 10 or 15 people involved in it. In that X group, I'm sure they got the private ones, but so I know they are working at it. I know they're going to these conferences. I know they're pushing the entropy name and the entropy vision. I know that they're not resting with entropy A. They've made that clear to everybody. You know, this project's only been going for a year, but another thing, we took a hit also, in addition to the amount of Ashlers being sold, we also took a hit because of halving. And again, I've made it no secret on how I feel about yearly halvings. I understand it's supposed to be for the betterment of the project, but I just disagree with a yearly having. Now, like somebody corrected me last night, you can't really, on my Discord today, so at some point, like with GeoNet, you can't go and say, hey, this is not good for us, we're going to change it, because it makes investors feel off-put, if that's the word to use. So you can't just go change it, but it needs to be changed, because just like GeoNet, you do a yearly at least helium's every 2 years. A yearly halving, yikes. You know, it just seems like every time you're doing some type of recovery, somebody's coming along and kicking you in your kneecaps. You had a couple of good green candles here. This is the 1 hour chart, but you had a couple of good green candles here, and then it gets to a certain point and everybody starts selling. You have a couple of good green candles here, and people start selling. And, you know, it this was a big sale yesterday. I didn't hear nobody talking about it. 13 million ENT for $847. Listen, I trust the team. I know I have several Ashlers running, several ESP32. Of course, I'm just hoarding it all. My one little regret is that I wish I would have sold or attempted to sell my snake NFT in the beginning. That's always seems to be my hiccup with crypto, is holding way too long. I've told you all that. And part of me was like, NFTs are just coming out. People didn't know that much about them. So I'm going to hold on to this NFT to make it worth more later. Back then, snakes were going for $400. And now they're going for the high twos. If people are even buying them, to get all 3 of the NFTs you need for the 2.0 bonus. Honestly, the good thing when it was about digging holes and more selective. I don't disagree with that. I know part of it was they wanted this to be able to get spread out to more people. And for most projects, the more people you can get involved, the more spread out you can get. Yes, rewards go down a little bit, but it still makes your project look way stronger. There's a give and a take, a plus and a minus on both sides of it. I'm not gonna lie. But again, I don't, they're not going to just rest on this. Entropy A is just the first step of some other things they have planned. They still have collaborations going on. Make sure y'all in their Discord reading about all that. I can't keep up. Every project's got some kind of collaboration going on. I can't keep up with all of them. I'm not going to say a lot of you. I have seven different versions or varieties of entropy going on right now. A couple of Ashlers and a couple of ESP32s. And all I do is just every 7 days I'll claim it. Every now and then on some of them, I'll even wait an 8th day just to get, at least a little bit burnt. Just my way of kind of helping out the project. But are you really burning that much when you're only making $1 a day? It's interesting. It's kind of like this, but again, we have to remember the whole saying. There's a reason why they kept saying the whole saying of it's nothing. You're mining a DEPIN meme coin. And let's be honest, there's no DEPIN about it. You're mining a meme coin. It's a cool project to be part of. It's a cool group to be part of. I'm hoping I can make some entropy parties, some Solana parties. I know I'll be the oldest person probably on the block, but I still want to say, just so I can say, shake some people's hands. I've pushed this project, because that's why I always say not financial advice, but I've pushed this project from the beginning, at least close to the beginning. I've been in this project for a year now. I know a lot of y'all got into it because of me. And that's why I do feel bad sometimes that we are only making $1. I'm making $1 also. I can also say the same thing that for this project that I'm talking about with GeoNet is after the halving, in addition to what it costs for an Ashler, in addition to what it costs for an NFT, and making $1 a day right now, who's going to get into this project? Unless you just want to be cool part of the Entropy Kids. That's the only reason really to get into it. You're looking at over, what's an NFT right now? NFT is like 1 Solana. It's 1 Solana. Solana's $236 right now. And what's an Ashler? 140, I think, on their website. So is that $380? So you're looking at over a year ROI right now. That's if the token don't go up. We've seen the token glimpse up over, 0.0008 sometimes. It was at 0.007. And, when it gets all the way up here like this, it brings up your daily rewards. But then you also can't sell it. And you got in a project knowing you can't sell it. So I'll be honest with y'all. Look, I'm not as upset over this one as I am with what's happening with some of these other projects. It's a meme token. You can't sell anyway right now. So there's no reason to even sweat this right now. That's how I look at it. Who farted? They don't mention anything about their price or rewards. They just look at it as it's a privilege to be in this project and be happy in the project, and it's nothing. And basically that's their answer for everything. It's nothing. You got in this project knowing you can't sell, so what's it matter what the price is? That's what they say. Again, I know they want to see the project succeed. They want more people talking about it, and if you want your project to succeed and people talk positively about it, you do kind of have to worry about the price. But I guess that's only my opinion. So I don't know. So have one for snaking and others are for big score at the end, just before the end. I don't know. Jay Styles says they made 100x selling Ashlers. My take, always a Ponzi. Yeah. Why is a project about nothing need a halving? Well, because they had flags on them here because of mintable characteristics. So they had to set the total token supply. So it's like every other project. You get more rewards in the beginning, and then you have halvings to cut down your rewards to make sure that you have enough tokens to last you through X amount of years for the life of that project, or for however long you think the project's going to last. If you don't have halvings, you will be giving out too much, and it also causes inflation because all the tokens that are constantly, it's supposed to be a scarcity and that kind of stuff like that. I don't know how that works in the crypto world, or whether it works in crypto world or what, I don't know, but that's just what they say. Who bought grandma tokens? $100-year-old rugger. That's great. And there's always a new meme token. Like this is disgusting. I'm still curious to see what happens with the demo. Prices come back down. I'm curious to see if people are going to cancel subscriptions since they're 1 month subscription. I'm sorry for my eyes, guys. I have something stuck in it and I can't get it out. A comment video also. Nadix, the big surprise. I'm making sure I'm running Nadix now. I can tell you that. Now, this is what I'm curious to know is, it's up. Was it 30% for the month? From 0.006 to 0.009. I'm curious to see what happens to this one. I'd love to know where this money came from, or how this is working out. But the big move, Silencio might be coming back down to earth a little bit, down 18% in the last 24 hours. 0.004003. Very interesting. 10 trend broken, big dump coming. Can't wait for the big announcement tomorrow. Y'all tell me what y'all thoughts are on this, because I'm wondering if, Silencio saying that they're having some big announcement tomorrow. I talked about that on my video this morning. And even their logos changed right here. The logo now says the world's ears for AI and robotics. So are we no longer doing sound readings anymore? Fighting over venues, trying to get the venues first so we can do a sound reading and stuff like that. Is that like out the window now? Oh, excuse me, guys. I don't know. I'm curious to know about this. I tell you now, as long as they have these gimmicky ads with King Henry getting poked in the rear end with some spikes, or those games, or wanting subscription money from me and stuff, I still have a bad taste, and I'm not running this project. That's just me. I'm hard-headed. I'm stubborn. I'm whiny baby, as some people might say. But Silencio's rubbed me the wrong way. Is there anything? Remember, they could always sell and have as many mines as they wanted to. Is there an Enigma token? I guarantee there's an Enigma token. Now, whether or not it's anything, I don't know, but there should be an Enigma token. There's an Enigma token on CoinMarketCap. Well, so I'm dreaming it. CoinMarketCap says they got a couple different Enigmas, but none of them have prices included on them. What's it? Not with Enigma. Has anybody messed with the Aster with sword chain yet? I know some of y'all asked me. I've got somebody who even asked me today about it. Look, I've already bought an Aster. I already bought a sword chain mini. I'm also doing the camera for them. I'm not dealing with the Aster. I don't really know what is involved with it, but I haven't messed with it. I know some of y'all have asked me that. Pawns, I'm staying on top of my devices with pawns, bit harvest, rhythm. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. It's been a crazy day. So GIP 10 with GeoNet. I don't know if any of y'all have voted here. This is a really unofficial voting, but new proposal GIP 10 submitted by Measure or whatever that would add a state stability check to improve GeoNet's data quality. Stations that move too much sway in the wind could have their rewards reduced until the issue is fixed. The issue is going to fix itself when the wind quits blowing. This will make sure GeoNet stays survey grade network instead of host use to solve. I just had questions about this. I know I'm way in the minority, but I just had questions about this. Is unless you're putting this on a Roan type tower, cement in the ground, you're going to probably have some sway. Or if you're hooking that little bolt up that's underneath it, underneath the station, directly to your roof, maybe you won't have any sway. But some sway's got to be acceptable, because I think that you're going to knock out a lot of stations if you start taking away sway. Again, this much sway that's in, I mean, I'm literally saying this much sway that's in a station in windy days, to me, is not anything. I've seen poles that are literally swaying 6 inches on both sides, 8, 10 inches on both sides. I agree, that needs to be dealt with. But I wish I would see, to me, this is left to different kinds of interpretation, and I'm curious to see what this is about. So, you know, who fought it? All I can tell you is if you go to Deck Screener and type in Enigma, like I said, there's a whole bunch of Enigmas. None of them seem to be really that overly popular. You know, one's got 11,000 liquidity into it. One's got $853. One's got 8,000 into it. So I don't know if you're looking for a particular one, but there's about 6 different ones right here, if that answers your question. But yes, there's about 6 different Enigma tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ooh, look at Articore. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to put you all to sleep. Articore's had a nice little dip too. Somebody must have took some profits or something. Yeah. Somebody took 17 grand worth of Anacoy out. Then, 240. These are all the same wallet. All these right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all the same wallet taking Anacoy out. It was very interesting. Then you had this big hit right here. I don't know. Oh, all right. There's a mining project called Athene Network. Anything about it? And what do you mine with it? Like, is that you're mining Athene? Is this another data mining thing, kind of similar to the one I did for Helium Deploy last month? Oh, I've never heard of Athene before. I mean, it looks like they've been out for a while. It looks like they got a very professional website. I've never really heard of any of these strategic backers, but that ain't saying much. So is this an app that runs on your phone? I don't know. That's something I need to look into. With junk, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, you don't have to boost on Sunday just to get the maximum rewards out of it, because you're about to you're gonna lose whatever you put into that pool, even if it's on a Friday. Whatever you put in that pool, you're losing. So to get enough to be able to get back your burned token amount plus making more for being in that pool, you almost have to do it on the Sunday. Look, I did it on Monday too because I forgot about Sunday. Sundays are just busy. You're just not thinking about it and stuff like that. But, you know, there's like I said, there's one more experiment I kind of want to do. I'm getting into that now. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm usually not this tired. It's been a rough couple of days. So let's take a look. Here is junk. You can see how much my tokens have dropped off because I'm no longer boosting. And where I was making 1.7 million before, I am now back down to 300,000. 279,000. Bob Winston is at 10.5 mil. Crypto Willie, who runs the project, is at 9.4 mil. Deal Cracker, who's always up here, he is religiously every Sunday. Every now and then he shows up on the live or X or somewhere, Discord. Look at who fought it. Who fought it's representing. So that was going to be my last kind of testing project, test project, whatever you want to call it, experiment, is if I only boost enough, kind of where who fought it is. Bob Winston 2. So Bob Winston's got two different things. Rumbly Zeus. That's a name that's always up here. But if I boosted somewhere up in here, am I getting enough tokens back to, at the very least, at the end of the week, get my tokens back? Because like I said, the one positive about this thing is, I will say, is all these tokens are getting burned. That's the positive thing. Positive. But who fought it? If you want to let me know in DM, or if you want to tell me, it doesn't matter, whatever you, or you don't want to tell me, but I'm curious to know, you have boosted 7.5 million. So what I'm curious to know is 32, 501, 7. Are you getting at least 1 million tokens, 1.076 tokens per day right now in total rewards? Because if you're not, you're losing money. Which I'm pretty sure you're going to be losing money because you're not going to be getting that top token. So that dude said he was first place on Sunday and now 7 ahead of him. They're gonna come in every day. That's when I gave up in the middle of the week. I gave up in the middle of the week because of that reason. I wasn't dealing with it babysitting every night. Like I said, nothing against the project. It's just the way it's set up. Problem is if you come on here and you say, hey, you know what? And I don't remember. I don't even remember last night who was in first or not on my video. Forgive me. What I will say is that it doesn't pay. You know, you don't want to sit there and say, you know what? Instead of having to always go 10,570, then 11, then 11.2. Instead of doing that, you might want to say, look, you know what? I'm going to do 13 million. The problem is you're not going to make the equivalent to get 13 million. So if you earned 1.4 day one, but you were in first place though. So the question comes in is, what are you making now that you're down in 9th place, 8th place? That's what I'm curious to know. The boost is good because, like you saying, you only put in you only put in 1 million, close 30% boost. You didn't have to put in that full amount that ended up what the score was. You know, I got a 50% boost. That's how many NFTs I bought. One's 25%. So I don't know. All right, boys and girls. It was a fun Tuesday. I don't want to fall asleep on y'all. I'm not making y'all tired. I got my sprinkler flooding my front yard. Curious to see what's going to happen to all these projects. Keeping an eye on Demo. Keeping an eye on Silencio. Keeping an eye on Sword Chain and Nadix and all these projects that I thought I wasn't going to talk about on Mondays anymore are all still like a cockroach, not going away. Curious to see what happens to Grass. For entertainment value, I am keeping up with their Discord because I've always said this is the most toxic Discord. I used to say that a lot last year. This was one of the most toxic Discords around. I finally have cleaned it up some. It's not as bad, but I'm telling you, you don't have to go far until you see somebody asking, when is rewards? That's the airdrop schedule. Same as last year. So there you go right there. I told you, you don't have to scroll forward before somebody's asking about where the money is. Entertainment at its best. So, too far, I'm going to keep up with you because I want to find out how you end up at the end of the month. I mean, at the end of the week, especially as you go down. So tomorrow, you should be able to see what your total bonus was. I'm very curious to see how that's going to work out. Right here, when you hover over this yellow line, this was my Saturday night. Sunday night takes a drop. Monday night, so you're going to see this also for you drop because you were in first place and now you're in 8th place. So I'm curious to see how much you drop and what you end with at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week versus what you put in the pool. Curious. So make sure you hit the like button before y'all leave. And I appreciate again all the support. Make sure you're in my Discord. Don't forget about the Wingbits AMA tomorrow. Don't forget to go to Helium Deploy for all your stuff that you want. Help a brother out. Because I just told you my refrigerator broke and there's no telling what's going to break tomorrow. So I'm not humble enough to beg for money. Next thing you know, I'll have a sign, we'll work for food before it's over with. We'll work for crypto. Oh man, it's always something. Always something. Again, I'm trying to work on getting my Nubla in, whether it's from the person who promised me one, getting one from somebody else, or just having to pay for it. I had some money left over on the side from something else, and now it looks like it's going towards a freaking refrigerator. So it's always something, always something. But thank y'all for watching. I appreciate everybody. See y'all Thursday night for another live. Hopefully I have a little more to talk about. Have some stuff, you know, that's our usual live. There's always something that happens during the week. Maybe some news about rates and stuff like that. We'll be discussing the Wingbits AMA and all that and go from there. So thank you.